It's happening, ladies and gentlemen. We're live and we're here to talk about it. The crash, it's here. Pokemon is going to zero, right, Alex? That's why now is the time to sell. Now is the time to get out. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I did it. I sold my Lost Origin for I don't know. How much did I sell it for again, Alex? I can't remember.
I think it was $400 each.
$400 each. Yeah, I don't know, man. I just needed to get out. I mean, seeing how quickly it's dropped, it's really started to make me quake in my boots. So now is the time where we're going to help you guys game plan dumping your position. But before we jump into it, as always, make sure you leave a like, comment down below, subscribe. Really helps the YouTube channel. And as always, if you're interested in seeing some of Alex's content and him helping you get your exit strategy ready to roll, make sure to check him out. Link is down in the description below. You ready, Alex?
Absolutely, man. Exit strategies, things crashing. I want to talk about all crashes, like car crashes, plane crashes. We'll talk about satellites or UFOs falling out of the sky.
I like
market crashes, any kind of crash.
Here's the real question. What really is a crash? Because can a marriage technically be a crash if you're having a divorce? Where do we get into the classifications of what a crash is, right?
Now we're getting into crash outs too. I mean,
ooh, I like your thinking, Alex. Crashing out. That's always a good one.
Yes.
Yeah. My wife crashes out quite often.
Does she?
So, yeah, dude.
Does she watch this?
She does sometimes.
You could be in trouble.
I'm always in trouble, man. You got to keep her fed, or else you're gonna see a crash out.
Dude, what?
Dude,
that is wild.
People be hangry, man. Make sure they're fed. You can't tell me, Alex, that you don't crash out if you haven't had any food for the day.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I'm just saying, man. If it's been 6-7 hours, crash out's happening, man. Got to keep her fed.
All right, guys. So next week, Eli, is peace here or not, I'll still keep the stream going.
I know, right? Just gonna kill me. I love you, Holly. All right. Let's start talking about it. Where do you want to begin? I guess that's the real question. Do you want to talk about second wave here?
We can take a U-turn at keep her fed and head back the other way.
I like it. Do you want to talk about the second wave being here, or where do you want to start?
Yeah, man, I'll start with that. Mega Evolutions. Second wave is here. For some reason, this is new news to people. People are acting like this is a reprint, restock, market's crashing. We've known the second wave is coming this entire time. We've known it was going to be a few weeks after release, which is finally here. It's been a few weeks since Mega Evolution was released. And now we are having the massive crash of 10-15% from where it was at before. It was kind of I would say stabilized between 300 to 320 a box. Now it's 280 pretty much on every platform. That's kind of what happens when more product finds its way to the market. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just too realistic for this market. I need to get more emotional. I don't see it. What do you see?
I mean, here's at least from the perspective that I'm looking, right? So you had the week release, which for the most part, when it's a really, holy crap, a week of release product, you usually see a lot of volatility. So we saw the price shortly after the week of release go from 340 all the way down to 300. Now, since then, it was kind of ranging from 300 to 305 if we're looking at the charts here on TCG Player. So the fact of the matter is, lowest listed with a Gold Star verified seller is 297. So I don't know, maybe I need to investigate and look at more recent sales, but this doesn't really feel like a crash. I mean, you could maybe make an argument and say that the price, even though it's not showing on the chart, was closer to 315, 320 on some of the more recent sales. I'm going to try and see if I can find that. Yeah. But even then, we're talking less than a 10% dip so far. I mean, I know at least with my distributors, the product is just coming out. So who knows? It might take a little bit more of a dip and go 250, 275.
Yeah.
Once it kind of arrives here. But as far as it stands currently, I just don't really. I mean, yeah, I'm literally looking right now at recent sales going all the way back. And I'm seeing it average around 305 to 310 at most. So Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, if this is the crash, I don't know.
Yeah, I think, and here's like my way of explaining what's going on. And it's just, I'm trying like to be tender with this, not talk trash on anybody, but this market is being ran by rumors more than ever. And, you know, it's not just this, it's everything. You know, people will hear someone that maybe has maybe some subscribers, maybe that has, they quote unquote have distribution, they have a store, they have distributors, and they put out information that they basically make it sound like is from distributors, and they make it sound like they know when restocks and reprints are coming, or they know, you know, what's happening before it's going to happen. And, you know, sometimes they're right, sometimes they're wrong. And then what happens is the market has short-term memory. They forget when they were wrong, but the times they were right, they say, yeah, we knew because this person told us, or that person told us. And, you know, really it is, people are just kind of guessing at this point. They're taking the highest probable outcomes or opportunities, saying, you know, things are getting reprinted, restocked, and people are running with it like it's truth. And I mean, the truth is, like, you have tons of distributors. I have a distributor. We know multiple people in this industry who have multiple distributors, and everyone's got different reps, different parts of the country. And if none of the distributors through any part of the country with any of the different distributor companies have any information, why do people think all of these random YouTubers and random content creators and random Discord server runners have the information? Like, I think Rudy talks about it. Alpha Investments talks about it, how we're at this point where people are just like taking advice from just random content creators or random, you know, groups online, because enough people hear it and repeat it enough times. And because people want to believe it so badly that they want that, like that hope, they just take it as fact. It's like, oh, it's coming. It's just like, guys, nothing right now is confirmed coming.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I will say I've gotten some information on is that we are going to be getting, I don't know what the product is. I haven't been told what it is. We are going to be getting some Paldean Fates, and we are going to be getting some prismatic product.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's bundles. I don't know if that's 3-pack blisters. I don't know if that's ETBs. I have no clue. My one distro that I talked to that has confirmed this so far says it's going to be tiny. So that is at least the only relevant information that I have currently about quote unquote more product coming. And I don't know, past the point of that, like, we still haven't seen any major I mean, I've said this before. This is kind of what I determine as like a real reprint. When my distributors tell me to put in numbers for a product, they're like, hey, we're getting more of this product, put in your numbers, and then we'll allocate it to you. That's when I start to feel confident that a reprint's happening. The last time we had that happen was about a month or two after the initial release of the ETBs for Prismatic. We put in our numbers and we got, as like a program, another like 500 or 600 ETBs. So, and that, even then, like 500 or 600 ETBs compared to how much we got on a release, like, it's a decent size, but it's still not going to make a shift in the market with the demand that we're at right now. So we're still waiting to see on something that large coming here anytime soon.
Yeah, and it's just kind of indicative of where we're at in the world, honestly. Like, you know, if you go back like 30 or 50 years, you very rarely had like news publications putting out like news that was faulty. Now it happens seemingly every week where people have to, you know, place retractions or basically just like, you know, tiptoe around what they said and try to, and it's just like everyone just wants to be first to the story. They want to be first about the information. And it's not just Pokemon, it's the whole world, and it's just carrying over to the Pokemon hobby is everyone always wants to be the person with the insider knowledge, the person with the information. And the truth of the matter is, like, no one's really got it, guys. And, you know, it's fun to, like, I guess, get wrapped up in it and, you know, like, make guesses. You can, you know, make plays, guess based on the guesses. But whenever you start taking these things as like fact, and you start like actually making financial, you know, moves based on information that's faulty, that's where you're gonna start getting into trouble. And you're going to be very angry with yourselves and very angry with the people eventually.
Yeah, no, 1,000%. I mean, let's talk about, obviously, outside of just Mega, or maybe we can touch a little bit more on Mega. I think, and here's my prediction, because we're still waiting to see some of the second wave hit like the shelves or our stores.
Yeah.
Just based on what we're seeing currently, I don't think we're going to see much more downward pressure. I think 250 is possible, but like, if we're talking going below $200, like, no, I don't think that's happening.
Okay, the lowest booster boxes in the entire Pokemon hobby is SV base, which is kind of in like the 240s. You've got Vivid Voltage, Battle Styles, and I think Paradox Rift, maybe Journey Together, all kind of floating around the 260s. And so those are the lowest boxes of the entire Pokemon hobby. Now you have Mega Evolutions, one of the most hyped sets in the past couple of years. Has the rarest cards ever printed, 1 in 2,500 and something packs for those golds. Rarest cards ever. Even more rare than the Umbreon VMAX, right? And then you also, on top of that, have a box topper, which is still worth like $25 to $30 sealed. And it's just like when you put all that together, this idea that's going to go any much lower than 250 to 275, like you said, is kind of a pipe dream.
Yeah, I just don't see it happening. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe at some point we're going to get more product and like another wave comes out, but it's realistically them just trying to help protect the prices and it ends up just, dumping more. But as far as it goes currently speaking, that's just kind of our price projections. But let's kind of pivot to another item.
Yeah.
How is your stance right now on just the Sword and Shield era booster boxes?
Perfect.
How you kind of feel
I'm
about
gonna
that?
hey, share my screen real quick.
Yeah, of course.
So I wanted to show the Chilling Reign. So this is kind of indicative of all the Sword and Shield products. They all kind of look relatively similar. So here's Chilling Reign. People are talking about this right now, right? They're talking about, well, the very tip tops. At the very tip top, it was in the 570s, and now it's back down to 480. So what? Not even a 20% dip. Here's what you have to look at. It is the most normal thing we've seen every step up of the way, right? Runs from 228 to 340, comes back down, right? Runs from the low threes up to 400s, drops back down. Now it ran from the fours up to the fives. Now it's having a pullback. This is not indicative of a market crash. This is a normal market movement after a step up. We can even go look at Lost Origin. We can take a look at that. It's going to probably tell a similar story on that chart. There you go. Move up, downturn, stagnation. Big move up, downturn, stagnation. Big move up, and guess what we're going to see? A downturn and then stagnation. Notice none of these have been more than like 10, 15%, right? Maybe this time's a little bit more because the move up was much more pronounced, right? The move up was much more than the last two moves up, meaning, yeah, the downturn could be maybe a little more than 15%, 20%, whatever it may be. But the fact of the matter is, this is all very normalized moves, in my opinion.
I mean, if anything, take it as an opportunity for a dip. I mean, if you looked at like, what's a good example? Let's talk about some of the alternate. So you remember we've been streaming forever, dude. So remember like a year and a half ago, I think it was, when all the alt arts popped up and a lot of them corrected by like 30%. And people were like, oh, is it going to crash? Blah, 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 blah. Like most of them have gone up significantly since then. I mean, just look at the sealed product since then, right?
Yeah.
So when you see moves like this happen, don't think of it as in like, I'm not going to pick it up because, or I should sell now and get scared because it corrected. It's like, if anything, dude, look at it as an opportunity. I mean, we were talking about on last stream what our kind of belief is for the long term of Sword and Shield and the returns you can get. If I said right now you could go buy a Lost Origin, which it was at $900 a couple weeks ago, and now you can get it for the low 700s, and maybe even secondary market you can get it for cheaper outside the TCG player. You just got $200 off of an item that within the next 5+ years could be worth multi-thousands of dollars. Like, I don't know what we're doing here, man. Like, it's crazy to think about that. People see this as a potential for more like downwards pressure where things are just going to all of a sudden start crashing and tanking.
Yeah, man. Here, I'm gonna share the screen one more time.
Yeah.
So, because I see Kyle in the chat talking about a bunch of like, things are about to crash. They're gonna return to 2021. I want to show everyone what 2021 was. So if you see my videos is repetitive, everyone wants to talk about the sets that got reprinted. Everyone in 2021, 2022, all they say is they repeat the same mantra over and over to scare you. They say, just go look at Shining Fates and Vivid Voltage and Chilling and Fusion and Battle Styles. That's what happens. It's going to crash. Here's what was also happening. Here were the sets that weren't getting reprinted. Look at Cosmic. Where's the drop? Guys, where is it? It's moving up. This is still bear market. Why is it moving up in a bear market? Why did it go from 455 to 760 in a bear market, right? Why did Unified Minds do nothing but go up during that bear market, right? Why did Evolving Skies look at this. This is March 2022, straight in the middle of the bear market. Everything's crashing, getting reprinted. Why is Evolving Skies doing nothing but going up? Can anyone explain that? Right? Why is Umbreon VMAX doing nothing but going up the entire time? This is the problem with listening to people on YouTube who have literally no clue what they're talking about, weren't there. All they do is they pick out any pain point they can find and say, be scared because this happened. Here's what happened. Demand was falling off at the same time Pokemon printed a heavy amount of certain sets, right? And so sure, if demand falls off and they completely clobber Mega Evolutions with multiple reprints, Destined Rivals, multiple reprints, you're going to see a big downturn. Guess what? It's not going to affect Paldea. It's not going to affect Prismatic or 151 or Surging Sparks. The only thing that gets affected are the ones that get the reprint. Everything else keeps moving like normal. And the past data shows us that, but nobody wants to talk about that data because it doesn't fit the narrative.
Yeah, when Sword and Shield reprints happens in 2021, Sun and Moon didn't start tanking all of a sudden. Nope. Same thing in 2023 when it was even more of a bearish market and Lost Origin, Silver Tempest were reprinted. That was around the time actually where a lot of the alt-arts were making all-time highs and Sun and Moon was popping off. So that there's zero correlation to that.
Sword and Shield, I mean, Sword and Shield base didn't, Rebel Clash didn't. Like, it was literally just the sets that got reprinted got hit. Everything else was fine.
Yeah. No, this just feels like deja vu again. I mean, it legitimately just feels like we're seeing the exact same thing that we did several years ago or a year and a half ago, where a lot of the alt art cards, obviously within the Sun and Moon era, retraced a little bit. And then people were like, oh my God, like, you know, I'm starting to panic because it went down 30% after it just went up 500%. What are we doing? And I'm just like, dude, what are we doing here? Like, if you want to go look at just the yearly chart on, like, I literally just pulled up one card just to look, right? The Arceus, Dialga, and Palkia GX card. Like, that card just within the past year has gone up from 160 to 428. So, like, if you went and bought the, you know, quote unquote dip on some of these cards, like, you would have still made out and had such a huge opportunity. So I'm looking at this in the same exact instance. The only difference is this is sealed product here that we're talking about, which is way more deflationary and safer than a lot of these singles, which can be extremely volatile. So it's a really good opportunity to take advantage of if you are a firm believer of a lot of these sealed products in the long term, which I know at least for me, I am.
Honestly, I think it's good that it's happening because it's a learning lesson to everyone who either has never invested money before, who hasn't been involved in any types of markets. I mean, experiencing a 10, 20% downturn is as normal as a correction as it comes when you're talking about things that have ran up 50, 100, 200%. And so, I mean, look, if that's enough to scare you out, I mean, by all means, you probably just shouldn't be investing money, or maybe just, I don't know, continue to put it in like a real safe an asset like a 401k mutual fund and dollar cost average in, have a financial advisor handle it for you. Like, because if these little situations scare you, you're probably just not cut out for it. That's the sad truth, but it is what it is.
Well, I think the thing that I find most interesting, right, is like, take crypto as like a good example. Crypto is a market where there isn't a floor and there isn't a ceiling, right? It's not like I can go buy a Bitcoin at wholesale. And so because of that, there is an aspect where the volatility is super scary and unpredictable, and it makes people make certain moves because they just saw their portfolio drop, you know, tremendously, 30, 40+%. Pokemon, even though certain, you know, aspects of it can be extremely volatile to the downside as well as the upside, you know what your floor is. You typically know that you can look at these trends and say, okay, Pokemon is selling this at wholesale. Here's what the MSRP is, right? Historically speaking, we know for certain that we have never seen a booster box go below about 10 to 15% of wholesale. So it's like you don't have these type of like indicators in the same way in like the crypto space, right? And then you take that a step further and you start saying to yourself as well, it's also deflationary with sealed product where, you know, as more gets open, there's going to be less in supply. So even the worst performing sets are going to still do as well, where if you went and invested in a poop coin, which is super speculative, right? It's literally going to be like an opportunity for you to just completely have the rug pulled under you. That doesn't happen in Pokemon, where you're like, oh my God, I made a speculative investment in Crimson Invasion and I lost all my money. It's like, no, you didn't. You still made out, regardless of what of the booster boxes you chose over the past 10, 15, I mean, the history of booster boxes, as far as I'm aware. So it's just a much safer, more predictable space that you shouldn't be as scared of. And at this point, the only thing I can say is that if we do see something catastrophic happen in the space, It will be something we would not have been able to predict because it will have been an instance that has never happened historically, because so far we've seen nothing but strength since the inception of this hobby in the past like 20 plus years.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing: it's like I think like people keep moving the goalposts too. Like, I mean, saying prismatic evolution is a perfect example, right? Massive reprints hit every which way. They hit distributors, they hit every freaking big box store, multiple ways, multiple different products. And the ETBs were down at $90 to $100. We were sitting on here saying they're massive buys right now. But, you know, you had people saying, oh, no, they're going to crash. They're going to MSRP. You guys are crazy. Now they're back up to 140 in ETB. You're already up 40+% on your money. And people were saying not to buy it, right? Destined Rivals. People were screaming not to buy Destined Rivals at release. 220, 230, that's way too high. It's too far over MSRP. Don't buy it. Runs up to $400 or $500 a box. You doubled your money. Could have already taken your profits, right? Well, gets a correction. Now it's corrected down to the mid to high 300s. You're still up, what, 50% on your money? More? People are what are people complaining about? It's just like every one of these, moves, every one of these buys has paid off. But you keep hearing people like move the goal. Well, then this isn't going to be a good investment. That's not going to work. This isn't going to work. Every single thing people have told you not to do, the people who are bearish, they've been wrong every step of the way. And then the minute something falls 10 or 20%, they come out like they're the winners of some grand prize. And it's like, you won nothing but being wrong about people making hundreds of percent gains. And now instead of being up 120%, they're up 90. What am I missing?
Yeah. And here's another thing to take into consideration as well, guys. Like Alex and I obviously don't have crystal balls. And so when it comes to the questions that we get sometimes about like, oh, do we think it's worth to invest at Destined Rivals at 300, 350, whatever the price is at? We're always going to give you what our kind of risk tolerance is based off of items that are more likely to get reprints. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's not a bad investment if you're looking at this from the long term, but we can obviously never make these predictions in the short term, what the volatility is going to look like. And so you just have to be cognizant of that and recognize that, hey, is buying a Lost Origin booster box at its current price in the long run going to be an extremely good investment? Heck yeah. Is buying Destined Rivals at its current price going to be a good investment in the long run? Heck yeah, right? Like this is what we're talking about from a long-term perspective. I feel like people just get time frames mixed up because you don't know what the price of Destin could be here in the next year if Pokemon decides to address it with a massive reprint, and then we could have ended up getting it at the same price it's at currently, but a year later, and that money could have gone towards other forms of investments, right? We're looking at things because of the way our culture is in such like rapid fire short time frames, because the news and everything moves so fast and so volatile. We have to always take a second and step back and recognize like we have to be patient in a lot of these things.
Yeah, and patience is a lost art. I mean, it's like I pulled up a chart of Amazon. If you guys look at the Amazon chart, right? It's like if you look at 2013, it was in the 20s per share, $20 something per share, right? But then if you look at 2015, right, it was back down to like, 15 a share. So it's like, oh, it was a terrible buy. I'm down 30% on my money, right? But then if you fast forward to, a year later, it's up to 31 a share. Well, now you're up 50%. And so it's just like, well, sure, if you're going to like scrutinize every play you make every day, oh, I knew it was a bad idea. I'm down this much. Oh, it's a good idea. I'm up this much. Now I'm back down. It's just like, that's not investing. You guys, you shouldn't be investing if you're that worried about the short-term ups and downs, right? But when you scroll out and you say, well, how's Amazon done over a 5-10 year period? It's up every single time. S&P up. And so it's just like, that's how you need to look at a Pokemon. You're trying to worry about what it's going to do tomorrow, next week, next month. If you buy these things and put them away for 5 years, I find it very hard to believe any of them are going to be less than what they are right now. Some will do better, some will be worse. And that's, up for you to decide what's the most prudent investment. But to worry about if you're going to lose money, I mean, it hasn't really happened in modern Pokemon ever with booster boxes after 5 years. It's never happened. So basically what you're saying is, I am going to bet that something that's never happened before is going to happen. You know what we call that? That's called a black swan event. So basically you're betting on a black swan event happening over what's happened 100% of the time after 5 years in modern Pokemon is it goes up in value.
Yeah. I mean, in I've said this so many times. I'm always willing to be proven wrong in the event that something historic happens, because history, it feels like, is being made all the time in this hobby, right? Whether it be records for the highest booster. I mean, here's the thing, guys. I remember when you had booster boxes pre-selling back in the Sword and Shield era for over $200 and everyone thinking that was crazy. We're now seeing booster boxes come out and pre-sell $300+ and people are saying that's crazy. In the next couple of years, you could easily see that number shoot up to $400 or $500 once we go through our next bull market cycle. So history is always going to be made on new highs and for certain things, but ultimately I'm going to use the data that's in front of us and try and make predictions based off of what we've seen historically. If there's something that's never happened before, like if it happens, great, and we can use that in the future to make that as a, potential prediction historically. But I can't make a prediction off of something occurring if it's never happened and there's no indicator of what will cause that thing to occur.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be like a life insurance company, having to like give someone a life insurance policy. What do they base it on? I mean, they base it on all the data they have, right? They base it on, whatever your health situation is, your genetics, any of your past medical history, like your age, all these different, they have all kind of factors that they have, all these different risk models they put to give you your policy and how long they think you're going to live, right? Every investment, every field in the world uses past data, right? To make guesses on the probability of things happening. That's all investing is too. You're using all the data you have available to make estimates on where you see things running and basically using your own risk analysis on what you're willing to risk. And so it's like when people say, well, Alex, this time is different, or you could be wrong here, blah, blah, blah. It's just like, okay, are you going to go off I made a video recently where people said, well, you don't know if you're going to live, that long. So you might as well spend the money now. It's like, yeah, if you want to go roll the dice and say, hopefully I don't live till I'm 60, 50, 60, 70, 80. I guess I won't need money, but odds are you're going to, and you are going to need to invest. You are going to need money later in life. Same thing with Pokemon. All the odds show us you're going to be wrong. It is going to be higher priced. And again, someone said that's not a black swan event. Black swan event, extremely rare, unpredictable event that has major impact that cannot be explained. That can only be explained in hindsight, and it is not predictable. So basically, yeah, you're betting on a black swan event happening over what's always happened. Yeah, I would rather place my bets on the odds that are in my favor. That's all investing is. You want to be right more than you're wrong. You be right more than you're wrong in Pokemon buying and holding for 5+ years.
Yeah, I mean, historically speaking, like Pokemon, even during its weaker times, which was during the 2008 recession, products still, from a sealed product perspective, it didn't fall below what was its wholesale price more than like 10%. It wasn't one of these items where you were buying Pokemon booster boxes for 30, 40 a pop. Like that just wasn't happening. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously a lot of these items, like I remember seeing YouTube videos of like 2014, 2015 of some of my favorite boxes, right, from the Diamond and Pearl era. And they're like, yeah, I spent all this money on the box. It was $160, which is super expensive because, that's, more than double of what wholesale cost to buy it. And that was an item which obviously you might not think that's crazy, but like for a sealed product to like more than 2.5x within the span of like 6 or 7 years, that's still not a bad return on investment. I mean, you're outpacing the S&P. Like, I just feel like a lot of people now just look at where the volatility is and they just always take it for granted how easy it is to make money, because back then Pokemon was still steady. It just wasn't nearly as volatile as it was now, because it's just a completely different landscape as it feels like it is every 5 years. I mean, the volatility especially came to the market in 2016, and then it came again in 2020, and then it's here now in 2025. It's just different levels of volatility.
Yeah, and then I know a lot of there are singles that are definitely correcting, and PSA 10 slabs and things that are correcting. And again, we've always warned about that. Like ever since the beginning I've ever started YouTube, I've always said sealed is going to be your safe play. Sealed is going to remain much more stable. The only thing that really affects sealed is going to be reprints in a major way. Otherwise, you're going to see what's happening right now. Sword and Shield, 10, 15, maybe 20% retrace, probably going to stagnate, probably going to run back up. Whereas singles, yeah, man, you're going to have these crazy runs where you can tell all your friends about, I made 100% on the single in 5 days. And then you're going to have massive fall offs where it drops 30, 40, 50% because singles are so much more volatile because they're inflationary. You always have more singles being open from packs. You always have more cards being graded. The population reports are always going up. And so the singles make a lot more sense to correct because they always do, right? If you're going to take more risk, you got to be ready for more losses.
Yeah. We'll start answering questions here, obviously, in like 10 minutes. As always, if you have a question, make sure in all caps you put question followed up by what your question is. Just makes it easy for us to kind of find it. Alex, is there any other specific? Oh, of course, leave a like, comment down below. Subscribe really helps with the channel. Is there any item in specific, Alex, that you want to kind of talk about that has kind of had its retracement, or do you feel like we've kind of gone everything so far in regards to what people are mainly talking about?
One set that kind of like jumps out at me is Paradox Rift. Like Paradox Rift had a run up, you'd call it like a buyout, and it ran up to like the mid high threes, maybe even $400. And then it retraced. And now I think it's retraced quite a bit, like almost too much. It's down in like the 260s again. And I don't know. I look at the set, right? The Groudon's still extremely high. And a PSA 10, it's, I think it's still like $600-700. Could be a little less now. Things have come down a bit. But the Roaring Moons ran up to 300 plus. You have the Altaria, you have the Goldango, you have a bunch of other SIRs and IRs, the Garchomp, you have that Steelix in there. And it's a strong set. It's in the first block, so it's going out of print early next year in spring. And like I said, it's got some of the most illustrations and special illustrations in the era, other than a couple of bigger sets. But it's just like, it just seems undervalued when you look at Scarlet Violet base and, Journey Together being almost a brand new set and it being the same cost as it. Then you look at like Stellar Crown costs more than it. Temporal Forces cost more. It just seems like that set's stronger than being one of the cheapest sets in the era, especially when it's about to go out of print. I don't know. It seems like it could be a good time to pick it up on the pullback.
Is that so outside of Paradox, is there another set that you're looking at? And I understand, like, from what I'm at least seeing on the charts, Sword and Shield definitely seems to be retracing a little bit more than the Scarlet and Violet era. But is there any item from any of these eras, booster box wise, that you're looking at and you're saying, okay, I feel like this one, like you said with Paradox, has retraced a little too much to the point of where it's hard not to want to get an entry point currently?
I think a lot of those Sword and Shields are. I think Lost Origin, Chilling Reign, Brilliant Stars, all those could make the case for a buy. And then even not a retracement, but I look at Black and White and I start thinking about a couple things with Black and White, right? First of all, the ETBs are still very cheap. They're in like the mid 80s, which is, it's still over MSRP, but not a great deal. Also, when you think about reprints on Black and White, even if they reprint it, they have to reprint both sets. They're likely not going to say, oh, we're just going to reprint Black or just White. They're going to reprint both, right? How are they going to do that? Likely, it's going to be more collection boxes like the Victini collection where it has Black and White packs in there. It's probably going to be the most likely scenario. And even if they do reprint like ETBs or something, they have to print half of each, which we've already seen the reprints aren't even enough to really do much with all these other sets who only have one set. If they have to reprint this, they have to reprint both things. So it's only going to have half the amount. I think Black and White could actually be some sort of a play. I mean, you're starting to see some of the illustrations go on runs, buyouts or whatever. The Zekrom, Reshiram, and Victinis are not falling very, very much at all. You have that Seismitoad and Black Bolt. I don't know. Black Bolt and White Flare seem a little interesting as well.
Yeah, no, 1000%. All righty, let's start answering some questions here. We'll do it from the top. Oh my God, as always, a lot of questions. Oh my gosh. Anything you want to say before we jump into it, Alex?
No, man. I guess just that, I don't know. I wish I had some words of wisdom, dude. I just wish, people would just stop listening to content, even our content, like, have fun, but like do your research for yourself before you make any decisions. Like, don't take what someone says because they have subscribers, because they have a business, because they have distributors, because they do a lot of sales, whatever other metric you're looking for, and think because they do X, Y, or Z, they know what they're talking about, or you should, make a decision based on what they say. Even what we say, go look at the data, go do the research, look at what happened in the past, right? Look at the price once you can move in, understand your risk tolerance, understand how long you want to hold something, and you're going to be a lot happier in the hobby and be a lot more successful, I think.
Yeah, 100%.
That's it.
At what price per pack would you stop buying Prismatic? Have a seller offering $57 a booster bundle. Thanks, love the vids. Look forward to it every week. Thanks, Steve.
I mean, again, it's a time frame for me. Like if you're looking to hold it for at least like 2+ years, Prismatic will be out of print in 2+ years. I think you're going to be just fine. If we get, the reprint Eli's talking about, we're getting like some more product leak out in Costco's and stuff. Could there be a time when the prices are lower than 57? Possibly. Is it going to matter in the long term? No. But I mean, I think $9, what is that? Just over $9 a pack. It's basically just a hair over what the loose packs are selling for. Sounds like a pretty good price.
Yeah, it's hard for me to like kind of Alex was saying, to answer the question just based on the fact that we have absolutely no idea what the price of this product is going to be over the next 6 months to a year.
Yeah.
So I can say for certain in the here and now, it feels like a good buy based off the current price and based off of the expectation that this is an item that's going to be in rotation for at least another couple years. But past that, it's kind of hard to answer. I almost have all PSA 10 Prismatic EX Evolutions. Would it be better when the time comes to sell as a full set or just put them individually? Thanks.
You just have to kind of find the right buyer. And that's hard to do, especially with full sets in general. And then also a full set that's going to be that expensive. You're really going to kind of limit your buyer pool. I mean, you could always try, but if you're looking to move it in any type of speed, you'll probably have to break it down.
You're gonna have, obviously, I mean, here's the trade-off, right? Like Alex was saying, you can probably sell off them individually and it might go faster for you. But from just a general time perspective, if you just have one listing and you just wait until someone reaches out to you about it, you're going to only have to do one shipment. You're going to have to deal with one transaction. And so it might move slower because it's cutting out a lot of other people, but it's just going to be a lot less hassle to deal with. So it just kind of depends what you are willing to do with that. And then in some instances, I mean, I can't say for certain right now, but people are willing to pay a slight premium if they know they can get it all right then and there and don't have to chase down a full collection. Oh, we got a $20 Slow Loud and Bank Collectibles. Thank you so much for the $20 donation. Huge thanks for consistently keeping it real about what you know, what you don't know, and where your opinion is. Both of you always have certified GOAT status with me. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, they've actually donated to the stream as well with like extra hits and things, and sent me a nice package and shirt and everything.
Nice.
So I really appreciate you guys. Yeah, thanks again.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like obviously we play the thumbnail game because we just do it not only because it's funny and fun, but like that's just kind of how YouTube is. But outside of that, like I'm never gonna sugarcoat anything. I'm never gonna like try and hide what my thoughts are on a specific item because at the end of the day, like you can kind of see my performance based off of everything that either I discuss that I'm investing in, or you can obviously track the prices in real time of everything that's going on in this market. So I don't understand people that kind of hide their stuff and like kind of spew it unless they're trying to sell you something. And for me, like I just enjoy helping other people make money. And so why would I want to tell someone to invest in something that could potentially have them lose out in their butt? And for me, sealed product has always been so safe. It just feels like a no-brainer. And I love it, man. Pokemon's awesome.
Well, it's not just that. Like, dude, I try to take in, data points from all over the market, right? And so, we always get like kind of like attacked, I guess, for pumping our investments or, trying to keep the market, going forward, only goes up, all those things. Guys, I literally have, I know people who wholesale Japanese, wholesale Chinese product, right? They tell me everything's strong, sales are good, right? I know plenty of other streamers at this point. I ask them how their streams are going. Everyone's streams are going steady, no issues, right? I look at the content creators. Everyone's views are very stable. Everyone's getting good views. So I look at the views, right? I look at like the eBay and TCG player sell-through rate, right? The sell-through rate still looks good. Again, the only thing you can point to right now is we're having a 10-20% pullback on select items, not the whole market, select items. And if that's the only data point you're telling me is saying that the market's crashing, that's why I disagree. It has nothing to do with my ulterior motives. I just disagree. If everything else is strong and something goes up 100 and something percent, then drops 20, I can't take that as everything's going to zero. It just doesn't make sense.
Well, another thing I also want to point out when he said about keeping it real about what you know and what you don't know, Alex and I obviously have our things that we feel very strong in our expertise in. And there's other things that we're not super confident. Like Japanese is not something Alex and I deal with. And so we're not going to sit here and have someone ask a question about what our thoughts are on a Japanese item and try and like quickly Google search it of what it is and then try and give you some BS answer just to hopefully answer your question. I'm going to be like straight up like, hey man, I don't specialize in this. I'm not ashamed to say that. I have a certain expertise that I have to me. If you want to ask a question about that, great. But otherwise, last thing I want to do is just try and have an answer for the sake of having an answer, because for some reason I would be embarrassed by not having an answer. I don't see why you should be. And then just end up giving someone terrible advice for no reason. So
well, there's
like,
some things, dude, that you literally can't be an expert on. Like,
yeah,
guys, Chinese, the new Chinese stuff, no one's an expert on it. No matter what anyone tells you, they're lying to you. It's brand new. All this new Chinese product with all the exclusive cards, it's literally brand new. What is it, like a couple years old? Like, it hasn't been through any kind of market cycle. It hasn't been around long enough. Anyone telling you they know what's going to happen with some of this brand new stuff, or even like brand new card games that come out, no one can know because no one's been through it yet. It's had no time to really like show what kind of longevity it has, if it's going to stick around, what the long-term, values are going to be like. And so, I mean, yeah, I could tell you about the sets. I open them all on stream. I mean, I can give you my take on if I like the cards or what I think about the values of them, but to say if something's investable like that, it's impossible. No one knows, right? Could be, if you want to take a shot in the dark.
Question, Destin Rivals or Mega 1, which set is better and which will perform better in the long term? I feel like this is an easy answer for me.
Destin.
Yeah. I think Mega, I might get a lot of hate for this.
Don't you dare.
I think Mega, it's not a bad set. Don't get me wrong. It is not a bad set by any means. But I definitely think the fact that it was split into two waves might have caused a little bit of an inflation on the price.
Oh, for sure.
And so for me, if you saw that happen with Destined would be at a way different price from its opening release. So that's at least how I view it. And so for that reason, I think Destin is just going to perform so much stronger in the long run. It was a set that people literally, when it came out, of an IP leak of a rocket symbol, were losing their mind. I have never seen anything where someone sees a leak of an R and starts like going crazy for a set that isn't even being announced yet for another year. Whereas
of an R.
Yeah, literally just an R. That's it. And everyone's like, oh my God, it's an R. That must mean rocket. And people are losing their mind. Whereas like Mega was a set where we were having a conversation like, yo, this box could actually drop below $200. Like, you're seeing so much weakness right now. And then of course, all of a sudden, oh, this is actually going to be split into two waves. And then people start panicking and the price starts running up. So for me, it's just two different levels of hype, and some of it I feel like is obviously being influenced by outside factors for Mega.
Yeah, I mean the rarity too, like having the gold rarities is kind of crazy. Like, again, we've never seen a 2,500 to 1 card ever before in Pokemon. Like, I mean, what's funny is like the only reason some of those mid-era cards are as valuable as they are is because nothing was printed back then. Like,
yeah,
gold stars are not anywhere near as rare as these new cards. Like their overall rarity, but like pull rate rare, like they're not as hard of pull rates at all. That's the funny part. Like, I mean, gosh, how many cases is that, dude? Like 2,500 packs. It's 2,500 divided by 36. That's 69 boxes divided by 6. Takes you like 11 and a half cases.
Yeah.
11 and a half cases to pull both of those gold cards, apparently. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's insane. That is a lot of packs. You know what's crazy? We've already pulled 2 in the shop.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about. Yeah, we get lucky, I guess. It's sick, dude. We had a couple people pull them already. I'm buying. I can afford an Evolving Skies booster box, but would it be better to put the exact same amount of money in Prismatic or Destined?
That's tough, dude. I gotta stay on brand on this one. I gotta stick with Prizzy.
Really?
I gotta stick with Prismatic, dude.
Dude, you know what I'm gonna say? I'm gonna say evolving. And the only reason why I'm saying evolving in this very moment
I'm not mad at you. I get it.
is because with evolving, there's not a reprint coming for it. And so it is so safe where if we were to look back at this in the next 6 months, a year, and prismatic prices could be the same because of a reprint or Destin or whatever, and evolving has gone up and doubled in that same period of time or gone up 50%, it then makes me feel so good about the fact that I can now just sell my evolving and then I can pivot into another position as these two sets are about to get out of rotation.
No, look, I could have just as easily said evolving. You know, it's we'll see. Like, I don't think there's a bad choice.
Yeah. I mean, in the long term, they're all amazing pickups regardless. What? Can we get an emo Eli video for Halloween and Pokemaniac Alex, the white lab coat and the glasses?
Dr. Shill, baby.
Dr. Shill? I've never
Dr. Shill.
Dr. Shill. Why am I an emo Eli? What did I do?
That is hilarious. I don't know where that one came from.
I know.
You're just so upset and sad all the time, dude.
That is fair.
You're so depressed.
I am. I think that's why he wants an emo Eli, because it's the other way around. Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Sad times. Sad times in the Pokemon hobby. We have an emo Eli.
God, my bad, guys. I'm locked in today, though. All right.
He's gonna turn on some Hawthorne Heights.
Hey, it's a good day, man. We're chilling, kind of. I've got cash saved for max contribution 2026 Roth IRA sitting in an HYSA. Do you think picking up a case of Mega Evo at 1.7K is worth it now and replenish the funds before April?
I'm not giving any advice on that. Like, I don't want to start talking about like taking funds away from Roth or HSA. I don't want to talk about that, man. Like, if you've got cash that you're willing to basically, light on fire, and if it goes away, it doesn't affect your life, invest in Pokemon. If it's something where it's like you have other things, planned and investments scheduled out for other things, like, I can't sit here and give you financial advice on what to do with that, man.
I like that answer. And we are not financial advisors as well. This is not financial advice. No, I agree with everything you're saying, Alex. I mean, it's one of these things where we can tell you, like, if you just have a blank question about Pokemon, we'll answer that. But the last thing we want to do is start telling you how you should divide the way in which you're investing when it comes to traditionals and or your contributions towards certain tax benefit programs.
Yeah, and me myself, I'm not a huge fan. Eli's not either. Like, I'm not a huge fan of retirement accounts, unless you're like planning to work, obviously into your 60s, because the money's locked up. What are you going to live off of if you choose to stop working prior? I know Catch 'em All Collectibles, like, he's probably gonna be a good person to watch. And I've even talked with him a little bit. He was giving me some strategies. There are a lot of different like back end strategies on how to kind of use SEP accounts, how to use your Roth IRAs and backdoor and all this stuff to use the money before the before the age they want you 59 and a half and all these things. But
what about with 401ks though?
You'd have to talk to Dan. I talked to him a little bit. I probably need to talk to him a little bit more, and then also talk to a CPA about it. Like, but I mean, my whole thing is I don't really plan to be working until I'm 60 years old. Yeah. And so I want to have money available to live off of, without penalty and all those things prior to that. And so, for me in general, like, I don't even want a lot of money wrapped up in 401k IRAs, just because, you're going to save, the taxes, going to grow tax-free, but, regular brokerage account, I mean, yeah, you're going to pay the taxes up front, but it's also going to, as long as you don't sell the stocks, the compound, earnings continue to grow until you actually sell and you pay taxes then. And then the same thing, you just pay taxes on long-term capital gains. So I don't know. It just depends on what you kind of, I guess, like, what's your goals in terms of like length and what your plans are for your life type thing.
Well, I think the hard thing for me too is the amount you're able to contribute to an IRA is so significantly less compared to a 401k, but also at the same exact time with a 401k, I've talked to 3 different financial professionals, whether it be from 2 CPAs to wealth planners, and they all tell me, as far as I'm aware, the same thing in regards to like you not being able to pull it out early, and they don't have any super sophisticated loophole that's going to allow me to like pull the money out past the point of literally borrowing against it. So for me, it's like, yeah, I don't know. I'm still not trying to answer this question. I'm just talking from my own perspective at this point, just based on where my feelings are. Similar to Alex, I would like to retire significantly earlier than what a lot of the restrictions are for these retirement accounts.
Now, what Kaiser said though is true. Like, if you have an employer that's matching you,
that
like,
is 100% different. That is free money. Do not turn down free money.
Yeah, the market could drop in half. You're still up 50%.
Yeah, literally, you're chilling, dude.
Yeah, so I'm a fan of employer match. Like we
1000% agree.
Yeah, we maxed out my wife's 401k up to her employer match every year for sure.
Oh yeah, big time. When do you think buying volume will pick up? As Rudy said, there definitely is caution right now. Here, I'm gonna go mute for 2 seconds.
I would assume probably. I think we'll start to see buying increase in another 3-4 weeks. I think probably like a week or so before Black Friday. And then every week going into the end of the year will probably be strong going into the holidays. Never underestimate people's willingness to spend going into Christmas time. It's the way it is every year. Once we get back to like January, February, I think that's when we'll see this true strength of everything where we're at, because I don't think anything's going to stop people from spending going into the holidays.
I mean, this is what I've always said historically. I always tell people that the holidays are usually a very strong time for the space, and you start to see an insane amount of volatility usually after the holidays. Like from what we've seen as late as May and as early as January, like that pocket, there is insane run-ups that happen in this space. Now, obviously, we're in a little bit of a different market, so run-ups have just continued to happen like crazy. Like this is very much euphoric. But at least if you look at the past, I mean, at least 5 years for me, you saw the run up last year for a lot of Sword and Shield booster boxes around this that time frame, and then the year before that, you saw the same exact booster boxes have another different run up, and then you also had Sun and Moon booster boxes have the run up around that time. Like you can just keep going back, and you can just see the run ups continue to happen, usually around that same time frame. So I definitely think it'll be interesting to see how the holidays are this go around, because it'll be officially in November, a full year since we had our real first big set come out, which was Surging Spark, which went over $200 a box. So it's crazy to see that we're almost a full year now from that. Man, it's already October 20th. That's crazy, bro.
Dude, I want to go back and like, I need to, on a video, I need to go replay that video I made back when Stellar Crown came out. And I said, guys, like I said, I don't care what they're printing. As long as it says Pokemon on it, it's going up.
Yeah,
I said they could put it on a rock at this point and it's going up in value.
If LGSs are hoarding product and just not listing it, how are they affording to do that? Just selling the 10 to 20% at huge markups and keeping the rest? Do you think that it will be a forced sell? Do you want me to take this coming from the LGS perspective?
Absolutely, sure.
I don't think LGSs are hoarding product. Like, I don't know where this fallacy comes from. As someone who runs an LGS, and I would put myself in a better position than most LGSs are, because I also have the wholesale program that I operate that can help with like paying the expenses of the shop. I don't sit on 10 to 20% of my product. Like, if I'm being 1,000% honest, usually what happens, especially now, we barely get enough product to even hold a case, because it's one of those things where like it'll be gone within a week at longest, right? I think Journey was the last set where it took longer than a week for us to burn through our product. So for me, I don't know of what LGSs are going through and hoarding their product, because there's just not enough to go around to begin with. And I would much rather be a shop that doesn't have empty shelves, because I'm going to upset my customers and people don't want to come back to you when you don't have anything to sell, than try and hoard it just so I can potentially penny pinch and make a slight amount of money. You're going to at least how I view it, you're going to end up losing more money by losing clients that are going to stop coming to you because they know that you're just going to be sold out of stuff. So why would they even bother showing up again in a week? Right.
Yeah, I mean, dude, put it this way. I know I live by a couple very, very large card shops. And then, I mean, like nationwide, they're large. And then I also am friends with a lot of people in this hobby now who either had or have now physical card shops, right? Eli's one of them. It's set up, this industry set up very much like I would say life in general, right? But there's billionaires, there's mega millionaires who have tons of wealth and they can afford to basically, you know, kind of weather anything. And then most everyone else is working day to day to survive, basically. That's very much like this hobby. The majority of the card shops out there are getting small allocations, and what they do get, they have to sell to continue to make their bills, to continue to have cash flow to buy the next set, because they're not buying just Pokemon. They got to buy the Magic release. They got to buy the Flesh and Blood release. They got to buy the Yu-Gi-Oh release. They got to buy the One Piece release. They have to continue to sell, right? They're not getting enough to hoard everything. They're not making enough off singles and trades and all that stuff. And so that's the normal way of business. Now, if you're talking about like these mega card shops, right, who have been around for years and years and years, have giant allocations, have warehouses, have multiple locations, yes, they can afford to hold more. They do hold it. They do put pallets away, things like that. But that's not the norm. And so like rocking in some random, you know, person's card shop just started up in the last 2, 3, 4 years. No, they're not hoarding. They can't afford to.
Yeah, Alex, I'm glad you touched on that point because that was something I was going to say. It's these larger scale shops that are getting thousands of boosters that they can afford to sit on some of it because they have a lot more liquidity, where it's not an issue if they just sit on, like you said, a pallet's worth or maybe a couple, you know, cases worth or 100 plus cases worth. I don't know what the scale we're looking to, but like for the every regular shop, a lot of them are still struggling because they, even though they have access to obviously much better margins than they did before, once those margins are done, then it's like, all right, cool. I got to wait another 3 months for the next set and before I can start making money again, because I obviously don't have any other way to access product outside of going to the secondary market and hoping people will sell stuff to me at a discount. And then I can try and mark it up from there. Like it's not, yeah. I mean, we were having an issue ourselves in the shop where I have a large backstock inventory, but that's just based on the fact that I was able to pick up a ton of product back when it was super duper cheap. And a lot of that backstock has really begun to dry up because we just haven't had access to buy product. And so right now, I would say 90% of our product that we have that's on the shelf is product that we're buying from customers. It's not even backstock stuff that I held on to before the bull market cycle at this point, because a lot of that stuff has started to continue to dwindle and has started to sadly, be sold completely because there's just not enough to go around.
Well, I just think it's just one of those things where you don't know what you don't know. Right. It's just like people that like, they look at this business from the outside looking in and they're just like, oh man, it'd be so great. It'd be the dream. I'd be so rich and all this stuff. And it's like, guys, when you get allocations from a distributor, right? Think about this. You're not getting booster boxes. You're getting booster boxes. You're having to take the collection boxes. You're having to take the sleeves. You're having to take the theme decks. You're having to take, building battles, every single thing on the product line. Okay. Oh, by the way, and then Spider-Man, you have to take all the Spider-Man stuff. Oh, by the way, you have to take the Flesh and Blood. Oh, by the way, you got to take One Piece. Oh, by the way, there's Riftbound coming out. Oh, by the way, then there's, White Shorts. And so you're having to buy all these different products for all these different TCGs. And there's no one out there that has enough cash to be able to, in a cash flow, to be able to hold all this stuff and not sell it and still run their business, pay their employees, pay their rent, and make enough profit. And so this idea that everyone's just holding all this stuff, it's a fantasy that's dreamt up online with people that are just angry that they can't get products at the price they want. That's all it is.
Yeah, I can tell you, at least for myself personally, and we don't do bad for ourselves. Like the shop's successful, but like when we incorporated a lot greater of demand for Magic in the program, dude, it became really difficult from a liquidity perspective because the back and forth of like, all right, so we've got a huge set release that's coming up for Pokemon, and then a week after we've got a huge set release that's coming up for Magic. It becomes so difficult when you're starting to talk about having to deal with multiple different IPs that you're having to have money for. And then you start talking about, all right, well, we just got a new suite for our shop and we want to start getting more play events. So let's start expanding into One Piece. Let's start expanding into Gundam. Let's start expanding into Lorcana and so on and so forth. It's like, it's not easy.
No.
Shout out to Wookie. Thank you so much for the $5. I have 8 PCETBs. I got at MSRP. Should I sell at these highs and reinvest into older booster boxes? I would keep my 2 PE, 1DR, and 151.
Don't ask me because I've been wrong on PCETBs. I thought they were going to have a ceiling. It doesn't seem like they do.
Yeah.
If you're asking me, like, it seems like time, if you want to take profits, it seems like a good time. But as I say that, we're gonna look back when things go on a run, and the PCTBs are gonna be, $1,000, $2,000 that are 500 to 1,000 now, I'm sure, and I'm gonna look like an idiot. So it's like with the PCTBs, the craze around those and the stamp promos are so crazy that I've kind of lost my ability, I would say, to predict it accurately. So I would never tell anyone to sell those at this point. The craze is too crazy on them. I mean, it just might be a good time to hold them. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with everything Alex said. It's so unpredictable at this point. For me personally, I've been wrong multiple times on the belief that there is a ceiling for this PCETB. So I'd personally prefer to just hold on to them completely, because why sell what's working? Like, realistically,
if you're really worried, just sell some, keep some. Like,
yeah, stop trying to climb the top is what I've really learned.
It just feels so close to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm kind of jaded by the past, but like, it feels so much like the staff and stamp promos from the pre-release kits back in the day. Like,
yeah,
those were like the biggest thing back in like Sun and Moon XY, and staff pre-release stamps were like the biggest thing going for thousands and thousands of dollars. And then they had a big fall off, and they have not recovered the way the other cards have, like regular set cards have. And I have a bad feeling that's going to happen with a lot of these PC stamp promos when kind of the craze moves on, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, 1,000%. Has anyone truly found a perfect storage container for booster boxes?
Other than the acrylics?
I think he's saying, unless I'm wrong, I think he's talking about for storing like your sealed cases of collections. Like, where you store, I mean, other than putting it on shelves. I know there's a lot of people that go and get those like Costco containers that like have the yellow lids and like, the black tub ones. I know some people use those. I don't know how perfect they are in terms of their symmetrical nature, but like, I know that's something a lot of people use.
I stack them on a shelf. I get those. They're like Home Depot, I think, garage shelves. That, I mean, I think they measure like 18 by 48 by 72, and the cases fit on them, front to back perfectly. I think you can fit like six on a row. You can stack them however many you want, how you want to build the shelves, 2 high, 3 high. But the main thing is, other than like all the containers, as long as you're in a climate controlled area, and also it's not high humidity. If it's high humidity, get a dehumidifier. Those are the two main things: is the climate control, the temperature, and the humidity. As long as those things are fine, you shouldn't have an issue, as long as you're not like moving them around or having like pets and kids play with them. I mean, you should be all right just stacking them on a shelf.
Yeah. Question. Sup? Just the question.
What up, man?
What's up, dude?
Appreciate you stopping by the stream, brother.
Yeah, good question. What do you think? We already answered that question. Oh my God, dude, some people need to stop spamming in the chat. If you already put it at the top, we're going to read it. Spamming it isn't going to make it any faster. We're reading from the top down. Maybe you already answered. What price was you? Oh, we already answered this question. Yep. Yeah. Alex, have you or your dad ever thought about teaching a jiu-jitsu course specifically designed to fight off Pokemon scalpers? Gonna need these skills with the upcoming Sam's 151 drop.
That's amazing. We talked about it before, didn't we, on here?
Oh, yeah.
The Sam's riots.
Oh, no. We went into like a whole bit on it, and people thought it was hilarious.
Hey man, it never pays. It never hurts to have a little training, just if the opportunity presents itself.
Right? Let me see what's next. From Poke Collector Jay, he says, "Happy birthday!" Thank you.
How are we not talking about this? It's actually Eagle Eye's birthday today. Dude, we don't have a cake. We don't have anything. What is this?
My bad. I don't know, man. I always feel weird talking about the fact that it's my birthday today.
How old are you?
I'm 27, dude.
Damn.
I'm getting old, man. I'm
Damn.
almost 30. I'm almost like you, Alex.
Dude, you don't want to be like me.
Dude, people are calling me Unk and everything nowadays. Crazy, man.
27?
27, call me Unk. I don't know. It's one of these weird things, and maybe you get this, maybe you don't. I have a lot of people that like message me my birthday that are like my followers, and it feels super like awkward for me because although I really appreciate it, I feel really bad because if it's one of their birthdays, it's not like I'm personally reaching out to them and being like, "Oh my god, congrats on your birthday." You know what I'm saying? So it feels weird because like I don't like the attention because I'm no better. My birthday is no better than one of your guys' birthdays. And so it just feels really weird. Like it's not like I'm more special than someone else. So I always feel bad because I wish I could message every single one of my subscribers happy birthday, but obviously you can't. It's unrealistic. So I don't know. Like I'm very grateful for everyone that's obviously said happy birthday to me. But yeah, I don't know. I've always been more low key with my birthdays.
It's the same thing with like Facebook, right? Like people get a notification it's your birthday and like just reach out and tell you happy birthday. You're like, ooh, I haven't wished them happy birthday.
yeah. Oh my god, I'm such a dick, dude.
I know.
Oh my god, I'm sorry, man. So, but yeah, no. I mean, you wish obviously you could keep track of everyone's birthday. It's just it's difficult. So, but very grateful to be alive. I will say that. That is one thing I'm very grateful to say.
There you go, man.
So, all right. What is the next question? Instead of number of years, would you recommend waiting X amount of bull/bear market cycles to take profit? That's not a bad question to ask. Yeah, it's a good perspective.
Yeah, I mean, it just always goes back to the same questions you have to ask yourself, and no one can answer them for you. It's do you need the money for something? If not, do you feel that the money is going to do better for you in something else? And by the way, cash could still be something else. Do you think it's going to be better in something else? And then it becomes, if you do that, when's the time to move in, right? And I think that's the hard part for a lot of people. All I know is, unless you're very in tune with the markets, the usual best thing to do is nothing. I think on average, and there's definitely people that are, break this rule. And I get even Warren Buffett sits in cash, and I think he is right now. I'm not saying you can't do well with it, but a lot of the times the people who just let things grow and they buy on the way up, buy on the way down, buy when it's stagnant and just keep holding, a lot of times they do better than the people that are constantly trying to sell, buy and sell and time the markets. And so for me, it just depends on how in the weeds you want to get with it. But yeah, if you truly feel some things are at their highs and you don't see a lot of growth coming and you want to get in cash because you want to have cash to buy the next reprint or the next drop or something, you think that's going to do better, then I get it. It's just, I can't tell you if it's the right move or not.
Yeah. Although I like this as a different perspective as a question, my answer is still the same, which is I'm going to always hold on to my product unless I have a certain goal that I'm trying to reach, and then I'm cashing out so that I can accomplish that goal. Yep. Recently for us, it was having a down payment on a home. We cashed out some of our product to be able to afford that. Next up for us in the long term is realistically retirement, right? Like I don't really have any other goals at this point. Like maybe similar to Alex, I might.
Well, your Toyota Prius.
Oh, dude, I already paid off the Prius, brother. Dude, it's already paid. The Prius. I'm sorry. I for some reason thought you were talking about my Corolla that I have.
No, the Prius, bro.
Right. I gotta get the Prius. Oh my god, I'm such an idiot, dude. God, I messed up.
I'm the same way though, dude. Like I've taken profits in this hobby twice. Like once was in 2021 where I did feel like things were overinflated and I wanted to be out of that and into something else. And then we also paid off a lot of debt back then. We paid off student loans, paid our cars off, a lot of that stuff. And then the second time was recently when we paid the house off. Like those were the only 2 times I've ever taken profits out. And for me, it just made more sense to take it out to do those things. So yeah, I mean,
yeah.
If you got things like that you're looking to do with the profits, absolutely. And don't feel bad about it. Like, we're all doing this to better like our lives, right? It's not
Yeah, what's the end game? Like,
it's not to be
seriously.
able to tell people you have more Pokemon than they do, right?
Yeah, seriously, I've taken profits twice as well. First time was when I moved from Oregon to Arizona. I just didn't have enough space to store all of my products, so I sold off most of my collection at the time, or investment at the time, just because I needed space, and carrying all those boxes was just not worth it. And then the second time was obviously, like I said before, it was the home. So I'll probably be in the same situation as Alex at some point, where as I get closer to paying off the home, which I'm still far away from, but I'll
Just wait till the next bull run.
Yeah, exactly. I'll try and pay off my home in full and then kind of go from there. But yeah, I mean, at least in the meantime, I'm just investing, saving, investing, saving until I feel like it's an appropriate time to make the next move on my journey in my life. And of course that, the Prius. I mean, come on now.
Yeah, just don't get caught up in the like almost like the online competition of whose collector app is bigger, or how much you have compared to someone else, or how high you can stack your cases. Like we're doing this, obviously to better our lives. That's why you invest in anything. And so I wouldn't second guess yourself. Wouldn't worry what other people think if it does come time to sell for you.
Comparison is the thief of joy. Alex, will you be singing "Happy Birthday" to me? Is what Jordan asked.
No, we can't, because they got the rights to it. I don't want to get us.
Oh,
I don't want to get us sued.
That's crazy.
We can't. You can't sing that song in public.
God, almost had him. I'll record it off stream and I'll send it to you guys in the chat. I'll make sure he does it. Don't worry.
Too quick. You gotta get up earlier to trick me, man.
Nice try. Is Temporal Forces sleeved 144 count sealed box a snap buy at 812, or could I find a better product to put my money into?
What is that?
Yeah, we're doing math right now.
Yeah.
That's
it's such a strange item that I'm not normally like used to breaking down.
Yeah, that's 563 a pack. It's obviously a blister pack, so there is a premium on it. We can't just look at it as a loose in the same way. I mean, if we're just talking a regular pack, regular packs right now are going for almost $7 a piece. So you're basically buying sleeve for $1.40 under. And then let me see what just the general blister individual is going for. Blister individual is going for $7.50. Oh, wow. It's going for almost $9. Like, yeah, that's a great buy. Honestly, that's a really good buy.
Yeah, I mean, to answer your question, dude, I'm sure there's always something better out there you could have put your money into, but is that a good buy? I think so.
I think that's a great buy if you're just comparing it not only to the other sleeved, but also if you compare it to loose. You're literally buying the packs for over $1 cheaper than loose, and you're getting a pack that has a premium on it of an additional $1 over loose. So yeah, no, I think that's a great buy.
Yeah.
Next question. What's your guys' game plan for the last quarter from the shop side and the rip and ship investing and buying side?
My game plan? I mean,
I know what mine is.
Mine's pretty much business as usual. I'm not really changing up too much. Investing side. Here's the thing, like I'm kind of making like larger strategic moves at this point, where I'm not like buying stuff all the time, and I'm just kind of waiting for opportunities that present themselves and then going in a lot harder than I normally would. Like I just did with Prismatic, and now I'm just kind of waiting for like the next major opportunity. Each set I'm still putting away some of each, whether it be anywhere from like 4 to 10 cases, but I'm not like going heavy on anything. I'm putting away random items I buy out from collection buys. I'll flip I'll flip some of it, use some for streams, put some away type thing. But as far as like an actual targeted investment right now, I don't really have any for you. And as far as like the rip and ships, it's just business as usual. Keep getting the new sets, keep trying to have the best stock I can.
I mean, for me, especially too, because this is the first year that we have any so Pokémon USA as a company is officially 5 years old as far as like its existence as of this month, right? So it's
its birthday too.
Yeah, I know, right?
Double birthdays.
Seriously. Yeah. So, because I remember, because it was my birthday on the 20th, and then I went live with the website and the brand on the 22nd. So, with that, our business last year recorded its first year of profitability. And so that was really exciting for us. And so this year, we're
It was really exciting
obviously,
for the government too.
yes, exactly right. So this year, we're obviously it's our second year of profitability, and we did really good this year compared to last year. And so because of that, I've really just been getting my ducks in a row in terms of my quarterly payments, making sure that I'm ahead on that, making sure I've got money set off to the side for the next quarter. Because I mean, we just had our most recent quarter this month for our quarterly estimates, and then from there, as we get closer to the end of the year, I'm working very closely with my bookkeeper and my CPA, and just trying to game plan for all right, how are we looking right now? Is there, do we make more than we thought? Do we make less than we thought? Here's what we're kind of predicting going into the next quarter, what I should probably save for. Do I need to sell more? Just doing a full inventory account and looking at it so that I can have a lot better of a clearer picture when it comes to like planning for tax season. Because this is realistically like, we haven't had to deal with it a ton because the business hasn't really been profitable for the long term, because we've just been reinvesting and growing and growing and growing. And so having to now account for that and spend a lot of time managing that at the end of the year it's a blessing to be able to obviously have to deal with these things, but just more things to think about, obviously.
I second that too. I didn't add that in, but yeah, I mean, end of the year, it always comes down to starting to look at, what you're actually showing in profits and how much you want to try to offset that by, buying things for the business to, bring it down to an income level in a tax bracket you want to be in and all those. That's always kind of like end of the year thing in businesses.
Yeah, 1,000%. What do you think about the half booster box, and particularly in Mega?
I honestly, man, like
about this before.
Here's all I'll say. I'll say this. I source a lot of packs for streams from like people, all over the place. And I've had a guy I've sourced from overseas and I believe he's in United Kingdom, but I've sourced from him for, I don't know, almost a year now, I feel like. And when I source a lot of packs, he sends them to me in half booster boxes. And so they basically value them at loose pack cost over there, at least. I don't know if they're going to have any major like, premium just because there's less in the US. Maybe they do, but all I know is, I pay a loose pack price and I get sent half booster boxes all the time from multiple different sets. So I don't know if they're too sought after.
Yeah. I sadly can't answer that question more than what just Alex said, because I'm just not an expert on them, but they're a niche product that's not within the US. I don't really know a ton of data on it, sadly.
Yeah.
How do you guys rate Phantasmal? Are you upset there's no Gengar SIR? I thought there was coming. I was misspoken. Like, I think I talked about this like 3 weeks ago. I thought it was going to be a two-parter of like a set, like historically where they take two Japanese sets, make it one English. So I definitely would say, just looking at it, it feels like history repeating itself, as always, with the Charizard sets, which is definitely a bummer. The Charizard's cool. It's a great art design, but past that,
I feel like they're getting better though.
It's getting better.
Like I think Obsidian was better than Darkness Ablaze, and I think this is better than Obsidian Flames.
Yeah, I mean, let me pull up the.
I mean that Charizard alone. Then you have the gold Charizard. Like, I think that alone makes it better than Obsidian Flames.
Yeah. I mean, just looking at the full. Man, I need to see the set list. Man, I miss Justin Basil. Images. Let me see if I can pull it up again and look at the gallery for it. That's annoying. I'm trying to see if I can find the. Do you know of an easy way to look at galleries now?
Brand new set for a unreleased set? No.
Yeah, it used to be Justin Basil, obviously. R.I.P. Yeah, see, that's hard too. I remember I saw it somewhere. I mean, I saw all the secret rares, but it's not bad. There's just not a lot of cards in it. There's just not a lot. I mean, some of the cards are cool, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's just not the same. I'm stunned they didn't also have a Gengar in the set. So, but also, am I really that stunned? It's Pokemon, dude. You know what I really want to talk about? I know you might not care about this, Alex, at all, but like, have you been paying attention to what everyone's been talking about and or like ZA? I don't know if you play the games at all.
I mean, yeah, like it's all over the feeds everywhere, like because every video game streamer's playing it right now and talking about it.
But have you like seen what the general community?
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same as always. Everyone loves the gameplay, and everyone hates the freaking graphics and the fact that they don't, they don't like actually make any of the buildings like explorable, and everything's just kind of like flat. And it's just the same things everyone complaining about every Pokemon game. It seems like par for the course.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't played it. I'm not gonna.
Everyone loves the gameplay. Everyone I've seen loves the gameplay. It's just they feel like the graphics is like, years behind everything else being created right now, which it's about right for Pokemon.
Here's my stance. This might be a harsh stance. I don't anticipate buying any Pokemon games for the foreseeable future. Realistically, I mean, just if I'm being 100% honest, I think that they really need to step it up. Like, honestly, like I feel like we waited 2.5 years for a game that you're charging more on because you up the price on MSRP. And then on top of that, you come out with a new console that's supposed to make the graphics look better. And if you actually look at the side-by-side video, they're almost identical. So it's like, what are we doing here? Like, why would I ever consider getting a Switch 2 to play Pokemon if I can almost get identical graphics with my standard OLED that I have? And for me, that's something that has frustrated me. And then on top of that, like, I guess the thing I don't understand is you see some older games that people have been showing and comparing clips to it and how the graphics were the same and they came out like 10 plus years ago. And you look at some of the new games that have come out, like some of the Zelda games, and you're just like, dude, these are amazing graphics. Like, how are they not able to do something like this? Like some of their other IPs that they own, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know what it is, their motivations behind it, but at least for me, like I was someone that almost every single year has always gotten the games, and I skipped Sun and Moon. I picked up Sword and Shield. But since then, like I just didn't pick Scarlet and Violet up. I don't think I'm going to pick this up. And until I start to see real positive feedback from some people saying that they really enjoyed the game itself. And if I'm being 100% honest too, a big thing that did turn me off was the megas. I felt like the mega designs were so awful. Like, oh my God. Like, have you seen some of the mega Pokemon?
I haven't.
I
know that Dragonite has like wings or something.
Look up Mega Starmie right now. I want you to see what the Mega Starmie looks like.
Yeah, I've seen the Dragonite.
Dude, it was so funny because I knew they were going to make memes about it as soon as it came out. But like I took, the first thing I did was I Googled SpongeBob Starmie meme because I knew someone was going to have made it. And I started.
What's the thing about it? What's wrong with it?
What's wrong with this? The Mega Starmie?
Yeah.
Dude, it looks horrible. Are you kidding me? Dude, all they did was they took the Starmie and then they gave it like walking legs.
Right.
And, like, dude, what is that design? That's horrible.
I mean, yeah, it's just like this is very little effort. I know, I get it.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I feel like with a lot of the megas that they came out with, like, I just was really saddened by it because I felt like there's so many opportunities for good megas and I was expecting more. Don't get me wrong. There are some of the megas that are good. Like I like the Emboar mega. I think it's a great one. I think that the Delphox one was good. I think the Haluchin one was good. But for me, there was just a lot of the megas, like the Pyroar, like, I don't know, the Meganium, like for Alligator. There were just some of them that just felt so unoriginal. And it just was sad. It was so funny. I saw a clip of a guy in Video Editor, and at the top it said Pokemon and how they created the like new mega designs. And it literally was him in a studio taking the original Pokemon designs. And then he probably spent no more than 20 to 30 seconds on like just shifting the actual like parameters of it or like copy and pasting certain aspects of the Pokemon. And it was like basically proving that the point he was trying to make was that they were just super lazy designs.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, let's take Starmie and just extend its legs, and we're done. And you're just like, let's take Pyro, let's copy and paste its main and add another one on top. And we're done. And it was like he just went through every single mega.
I mean, it's definitely all they're doing.
Yeah, so it definitely sucks. It feels like it feels lazy. But I won't go on my rant on that because, dude, oh my god. Did I? Hopefully, I didn't miss any. Yeah. Next up, what do you think about Half Booster? We already answered that one. Would you guys liquidate less liquid items like 151 black and white collection boxes and buy 151 bundles at their current price? My DCA for all the black and white is 81.
Okay, so we actually
I said 151 BW collection boxes. I'm sorry, I said 151 black and white. I'm so sorry. What is BW?
I don't know.
One less liquid items like 151 BW. Yeah, look at the most recent.
Blooming Waters.
Oh, Blooming Waters. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so would you liquidate less items? Wait, sorry. Would you guys liquidate less liquid items like 151 Blooming Waters collection boxes and buy 151 bundles at their current prices?
I mean, the only way I would do that is if I got like a 1-for-1 trade. Like if you're talking liquidate as and sell, I mean, if you incur any selling fees or shipping at all, you have to pay to set up an event, you're already going backwards. And it's like, I wouldn't want to like take money off the table just to move into something else of the same set with less. It's kind of like if I liquidate $1,000 in Blooming Waters and after fees and shipping, I have, $875 left. Well, now I only have $875 in bundles. Now the bundles have to outperform the Blooming Waters by such an extreme amount to actually get up on the investment on the trade. So it's like, that's the only way I'd do it is if you got like a 1-for-1 even trade on them. You really wanted to move into something else, but otherwise I'd probably just continue to hold them.
I 1,000% agree with Alex. I mean, one thing I will say though, that I've talked about this before, when it comes to like a lot of my investments, I am considering to look at like the price per square foot that I'm using for investments. Like I've said this before with Evolving Skies, I like investing in that because I can put a lot more money into my investment and it's not going to take me as much space. And I feel good about its long-term projections. One other thing I will mention, and this is not really to your point because I mean, 151 I think is going to be good regardless. The question he's asking, but for me, I will say that like, although I am very much in the boat of like, hey, just pick up the product and it should do well in the long term. I am also taking into consideration my consolidations towards very liquid items. Because if I say to myself, okay, let's say 5 years from now, I've amassed like an insane amount of product. Like I've got $1 million+ worth. If I'm going to try and sell this
so like sometime next year.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I hope. I would like to say, okay, if I'm going to sell this all off, how difficult is it going to be for me to sell it off? Because there's been so many instances where I feel like I've taken a look at some of my collection and been like, man, I know that if I only didn't have this item, if I were to sell this off as a whole, it'd be much easier to move, right? Or man, if I individually sold this, I would be able to move all these super fast, but then these items would take a lot longer to move, So like, that's definitely something I am taking into consideration on top of the storage factor.
Yeah, and I mean, I made that decision a while ago too. I'm not going to do collection boxes and tins and all that stuff anymore. Now, when it comes to stuff like this, guys, like, I know people asking about why did I buy the poster collections for Prismatic and even the Blooming Waters box of 151. If it comes to the point where you're getting the boxes at or below what the loose packs cost, then it always makes sense because you can just break them down. You can break them down. You got the loose packs at a cheaper cost. You got the promos. It just makes more sense. And like, that's where my mind is always at. It's like, okay, you don't want to, then people say, well, Alex, loose packs, blah, blah, blah. I don't trust them, all that stuff. Guess what? You can go look on eBay, Probstein, all these other, auction sites. They auction off 500, 1,000 loose pack lots every day. They go for full market value. They get paid. There's no problem moving loose packs. Streamers always need them. Just don't buy into all the internet nonsense, guys. The loose packs are just as liquid as everything else these days because all the streamers need them.
Yeah, no, I think that there's times in which it's worth it buying those typical less liquid items just based on the fact that you can get such a good deal on them with your entry point and you're able to move them by breaking them down.
Yep.
like that's just kind of it. Like you have to always ask yourself, if I'm going to buy this item, what's the premium on it that I'm paying compared to loose? Because I know that if it ends up taking up too much storage, or it ends up being something where I know it's going to be harder to sell sealed, so I can at least break it down. What's kind of going to be your factor that you're taking in when doing that, you know?
Yeah, and Sir Volafried, we know Poke Collector exists. It's just normally they don't have the brand new sets up already that are not out yet. I'll check. I don't think they have them up.
Next up, would you recommend sending to ProTeam/Snipe to take advantage of reduced fees for cases, or wait until the platform develops?
Would you recommend selling? Yeah, I mean, I would definitely recommend. Guys, I've ran tons of items, you know, tons of money through ProScene. Never had any issues. Like the only issue you're going to have is, you know, sometimes they take a little bit to pay out. Like that's the biggest issue is sometimes, you know, you won't have your payment for a week or two and you got to email them and then they'll get it to you. That's like the biggest problem I've had with ProScene. Everything else has been like really, really simple, really easy. And so, yeah, I mean, I'll definitely be using Snipe. I'm going to let them get the bugs worked out in the first like few weeks of auctions. Then after that, I'm going to feel comfortable sending them again. So, yeah, definitely. I'll keep using them. The fees are great. ProScene's great. You know, the only issue, like I said, the only issue I've ever had with them is it's taken, you know, 1 or 2 times a bit to get my money. And that could have been because people were taking forever to pay, whatever. Maybe they were having issues with all this switch going on. I don't know, but yeah, I recommend using them.
I see people making comments about me not wearing a hat today.
No cap.
Everyone always makes a comment. No cap today. Hey, it was my birthday. I felt like, you know what? We got to celebrate it by not wearing a hat today. Got to actually style the hair.
Edwin, no, Z and G is good too. James
doesn't live here anymore, right? He used to live in Phoenix.
Yeah, he moved. Yeah, so guys, James, he's I mean, he still has a YouTube channel, but he used to make content before he ever did any of the consignments. And then he ended up he was working with Graded Gem for a while, where they were offering a grading service, sort of the way GameStop does. And he's been around the hobby a long time, he's done a lot of different things. He's trusted. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm like good friends with him, but I mean, I do know him personally. Met him in person, talked with him, you know, multiple times, and he's a good dude. He runs a good business. No, I mean, their auctions go high prices. You'll have no problem using them either.
Yeah.
The issue with Z&G, and I heard they might, I haven't talked to them, but they might be looking into seal. But the issue always was is they only do slabs, whereas ProTeam will take any of your sealed items too. So, but someone said they heard that Z&G might be starting to take sealed. If that's the case, that'd be crazy.
That'd be insane.
Yeah.
Start auction off some of my lost store? Nah, I ain't doing that. Here's an interesting question, but not really interesting. Ant asks, is Japanese more better than English?
More better,
baby.
I guess it depends on who you ask. I mean, I'll tell you one thing. When the Japanese boom was happening like a year and a half, 2 years ago or something, man, I took the most heat ever for standing my ground and saying, no, I'm not moving into Japanese. I'm sticking with English. And then when 151 came out, dude, people lit me up when I said, I think 151 is still better in English than Japanese. People lit me up with the Pokeballs. It's in a booster box. It's a Highline set, all these things. Look at Japanese 151 booster boxes. Look at the 151 English products. Tell me which is up more percentage. English products overall, I'm sure there's some Japanese here or there that will beat them. Overall, you're still going to be better in English. It's going to be more liquid in the future. It's got a bigger customer base.
Man,
that's all it is.
That's crazy. I remember when the 151 booster boxes had a reprint in Japan and everyone was buying in. It's crazy.
You'd been better.
It's only up 2x from when I remember.
You'd been better buying when me and Eli sat here on screen yelling at you guys, go to Costco, buy the UPCs. And we had people in the chat saying, I'm just going to wait for the next reprint. They were $80 at Costco. They're 600. What are they now? 500, 600. It's just like,
yeah,
it's crazy, man. But yeah, I'm still English all the way. Always been that way. I was going to stay that way.
Yeah. I mean, we'll probably eventually carry Japanese in the shop. I know
I carry it. Don't get me wrong.
I need to reach out to Retro at some point and get my employee set up with him on that. But
I mean, here's something Japanese is great for. It's great to open the new set before it's out in English. So like every new set I always carry because you can't get it in English. So it makes sense. But then every time, and I've talked to other streamers about this, once the English set comes out, man, sales of the Japanese go because everyone wants the English set.
Yeah. All right. Next question. Which card are you currently using for points? Oh boy. All right. I'll try and make this quick.
Yeah, I'll make it easy for you. So before Eli's, well, the Wells Fargo, whatever it's called, card, it's just
2% cash back.
2% on everything, cash back. There's no like categories, no rewards. I just keep it nice and easy. Now, Eli, just bring us into the end of the stream. Go on.
All right. So for me right now, the main one I'm using for groceries, gas, is they have the City Strata Premier card. So I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm such a nerd, dude.
Do it, dude. I love it.
They added American Airlines as a transfer partner. And so because of that, I picked that card up, and I've been using that one specifically for gas, groceries. And then my other card that I have, which is my Sapphire Preferred, I use that one for dining. Now, if you want to, you could also use the Strata Premier for dining, but I like having points in both ecosystems. And then outside of that, one of the other cards I have that I use a lot is the Business Preferred Ink from Chase, because it earns me 3x back on what am I trying to say? On shipping. So if I'm being honest, most of the points that I earn is from that card, which I have 2 of, because earning 3x, I mean, we do so much shipping volume in the program. Like I probably spend a week around $4,000 to $5,000 just on paying for shipping labels. Like it's insane how much money I pay towards shipping labels. So that's what's really got me the most amount of points. But I would say those are like kind of my 3 main cards that I'm using. The other 2 are obviously the personal, and then that's the other one that I predominantly use for the shipping side. If you're going to use an everyday card though, the 2% active cash, like Alex said, is phenomenal. Alternatively, if you care more about like the points ecosystem, the Capital One Venture X is a really good travel card. I think it's great. Oh, one thing I will say, and then I'll shut up because I can go on about this forever. They did a refresh of the Amex Platinum, and forever I used to really crap on the Amex Platinum, saying it wasn't worth its value. I think they've done a really good job with the recent refresh. Some of the actual benefits that come with it, they've definitely really kind of spiced it up and made it better. But the multiplier still sucks on it. I mean, you're still going to get a much better multiplier if you're going to go the Venture X route and earn the points. But yeah, that'll be it. I feel like that was good. I think that was only a couple minutes. Dude, I don't know, man.
Don said he changes cars more than he changes underwear. I said, I think he changes cars more often, actually.
Dude, it's crazy, man. Hey, I've only picked up, so after we got the home, I got like, I think 2 cards. I picked up 2 cards. So it was just the Strata, and then what was the other card I picked up? There was one other card I picked up. I don't know why I'm forgetting what the card was. Oh, I remember. It was another Amex Business Blue card, which earns you 2x back up to your first $50,000 you spend in a given year. So, but yeah. All right. We'll do 2 more questions.
I'm definitely unoptimized in the credit card game. I'm definitely leaving money on the table. Let's be honest.
Dude, you're the guy, it's so, okay, let's talk about this for a second. Alex is the guy that's like, all I need is a couple mil, then I'm ready to retire. I'm the guy that's like, yeah, for me, I couldn't stop working because I might just get bored with life. But like, I'm the one that's doing all the optimizations for points to be able to travel, which I feel like, I don't know. Do you like to travel? I feel like you like doing this kind of stuff. Oh, do you really hate traveling? Yeah. That's why. Okay, that makes sense.
Here's the thing. I think it's because it's too temporary. I think if I was like not on a time frame and I could travel for like, go somewhere for like 2-3 months at a time, it'd be different. But like, I'm definitely not like a 5-7 day person. Like even when me and my wife travel these days, I like to go for at least like 14 to 16 days. Like that's like the least I like to go anywhere. Cause like for me, it's like going for 5-7 days or something. By the time you get down there and get all situated and start enjoying it, it's already time to leave again. It feels like it's just not enough. It's like too little, too much work to like go through all the planning to actually pack, do the traveling, get there, set everything up for such a small amount of enjoyment. So like, as long as I'm there long enough, it would make a lot more sense, I think, for me.
No, I think that's fair. I definitely can understand that.
Because I do hate everything that has to do with traveling. I hate like, you know, doing all the planning, setting it up, shopping around, setting it like, you know, planning everything, doing all the packing, like setting up the lodging and all that. Like, I hate all that. Like, if there's a plane, like going to the airport, going through all that nonsense. Like, I hate everything there's to do with traveling. I love it when I get there, but I hate all the stuff leading up to it, you know?
You know, it's so funny. It's going to sound so bad. I enjoy booking the trip than I do the actual trip.
Oh,
Sometimes.
shut up, dude.
Dude, no, legit.
What does that even mean?
Because, dude, I'm such an addict, bro. It's so bad, bro. I'll be like, yo, I just bought this trip. It's usually $5,000 cash, but I got it in $700 worth of points. I just saved us $4,300, which is an average cents per point value of 9 cents. Like, I go into it and I nerd out and I get excited. And then my wife is like, oh my God, we're traveling. What do you want to do? And I'm like, I don't know. I just want to eat the good food there. You can figure out what we're going to do while we're there. But because literally how the conversations go is, hey, there is a flash sale deal going on. Would you like to travel to this place? I can get us a really good deal if I book it now. And then she's like, okay, that sounds great. So because my wife loves traveling, and don't get me wrong, like, I don't mind traveling, but like, she definitely loves traveling more than I'm just an addict on like a good deal. I love a good sales discount, bro. I am a sucker for that. So I would say that I definitely enjoy a large portion of the aspect of that. But I don't know.
I need to optimize the credit cards more.
Well, also too, like, I get your point with the 2 weeks. Weirdly enough, I'm kind of like the opposite, because I feel like when I'm at a place and I've been there for like a certain period of time, I start to get homesick. I'm like, oh man, I miss home. And then it's like a couple of days towards the end of the trip where I'm like, we could have cut this trip a couple of days short, and I'm kind of would have been good. But
yeah,
you know, versus for me, I'm like, all right, if I'm in that, like, you know, less than a week or like around a week, then I start feeling like, all right, I feel pretty good about that. But also it does depend too if you're traveling in versus out of country, you know?
Does it? Oh yeah. If you're going out, you definitely want to be there longer.
Yeah. I mean, most of our if we're traveling across the state, like, we're typically like no more than a week. But like, well, I've traveled in the past several years now, twice outside the country.
I think like
it was over 2 weeks both times.
Yeah, I think like the amount of time and like distance definitely plays into the amount of time. Like, if I'm going, like, I can go to like the lake for a weekend, right? Like, I can go drive 2 hours away and like stay at the lake for a weekend, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't want to like take a trip like down to Florida, just stay for a few days.
1,000%. Yeah, I mean, when we stayed in Italy this last March, we were there for 15 or 16 days. So
yeah, there you go.
Because it's Italy. I mean,
yeah,
I don't know, dude. Yeah. Anyway, all right. We'll do one more question because we are running super late at this point. Would you guys be buying Paldean Fates and 151 bundles at current market prices, or Prismatic Evo bundles at current prices?
I still like Prismatic for the price point.
Yeah, I agree. No, I think that's good. All right, Alex, anything else you want to say or do before we get on out of here?
Oh, that was it? That was the last question?
Dude, I said it was one more question. Do you want to take one more?
That's a weak last question.
It's a weak last question, Alex says. We're going to take one more.
No offense, James. I appreciate the question.
Dude, he just said your question was weak, James.
It's just, it was a short one.
Attacked you, James.
We got to give something to get some thought into.
All right. We'll pick a good one. No, I don't. Dude, some of these questions are so funny. Some people are so funny. All right. In your opinion, what should I be buying? DR booster boxes at $325 a box, or prismatic ETBs at $142 a box? UK. Obviously, I have the funds available. Thanks.
Okay, yeah, Destin Rivals all day. Yeah, that's a really good price for what they are at the market. I mean, you know, you're getting in right now. What is that, like 20-something% under market? Whereas Prismatic, it seems like that's full market price. So if you can get those kind of deals, that just seems like a much better deal.
Yeah, I agree. Destin Rivals, easy smash. Dude, retweet.
He just smashed Destin and passed Prismatic.
Dude, oh my God. All right, is that a good one, or should we do another?
We're good, man. That was a good
man. Hey, I'm getting hungry. I need some food, dude. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Wait, what? Hold on. That's a perfect way to end it. What'd you say at the beginning?
Dude, I need some food, man. I'm hungry, bro.
Like feeder or something?
Yeah, no, I'm hungry, not my wife. I'm the hungry one right now, dude. Hey, I get hangry too, man. I'm human.
That's a perfect circle back. I like it.
Alex, you can't tell me that if you go 8+ hours without eating that you don't get hangry.
I'm actually fasting for 16 days right now. No.
You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy is like you're obviously joking, but I know people that do fast for extended periods of time.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, no, I get you, man. I was messing.
All right, guys. Thank you so much all for stopping by as always. Hopefully you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Make sure you leave a like, comment down below, subscribe. Really helps the channel. And of course, check out Alex. Link is down in the description below. See his content. We will see you all next Monday. Peace.
Peace.